Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of Space for Life. November is always a very bittersweet month for all of my family because it was on November 25th, 2016, that my daughter, Perrin, died after a 6.5 year battle with kidney cancer. She was amazing in every sense of the word. But for some reason, this November, uh, the eighth anniversary of her death, uh, I decided that I wanted to do a few things to particularly honor her and honor the person she was and the faith that she had. And so on today's episode, I want to share a short video uh, of the talk that her husband, Joe Hall, gave at her memorial service. Uh, Obviously, this was a very sad moment for all of us, but I don't share it for those reasons. I share it because the words that he shared about who she was and an experience that he had with her is one of the most deep, amazing expressions of faith that I have ever heard, that I heard for the first time this morning. And so I believe that this sharing of this particular time is worth it, not just because we want to honor Perrin, but because these words of faith are words that I think can encourage each one of us as we live through the hard days of our life. So this is a short episode, but I believe it might be one of the most special episodes that I've recorded on Space for Life. So thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much in sharing this month in honoring Perrin.
Will you pray with me, please? Father, I am not strong. I need you to do this for me. Thank you for everyone who's here, who saw a little bit of what we saw in Perrin. I thank you that you are taking care of her now. I pray that you would be glorified today. Amen. I'm going to do my best to get through this without crying. But if I do, it is because we are all suffering. We have suffered a great loss, the pain of which will not soon fade. But if you see me smile, it's because Perrin taught me a thing or two about suffering. Suffering cannot steal our joy. Suffering cannot steal our love. And suffering cannot steal our hope. Over the past few days, thinking about this moment, I knew that I wanted to do my best to communicate a perspective that Perrin shared with me after a difficult doctor's appointment this spring. This is something that she didn't have the opportunity to write, as I hoped that she would, and I know you all did too. So I wanted to take this opportunity to share with you just one of the most special things that she ever said to me. And we all know that she had a beautifully thoughtful way of expressing her thoughts through words. So please bear with me as I do my best to imitate her. It will not come close. It was the week before Easter, And as I mentioned, we had just left the doctor after receiving results from a scan that showed the cancer was still growing. We were both quiet in the car, driving down the road. I just looked over and I could tell she was deep in thought. So I asked her what was she thinking? And this is what she said. She said, "With Easter coming up, I just can't stop thinking about how the disciples must have felt." And I had no idea what she meant. I was confused. I asked her to explain, please. And so this is what she said. "Think about how they must have felt on Friday. Everything that they had given their lives to, all the work that they had done, everything they thought they knew seemed to be falling apart around them. Their leader, the person they thought would change the world, was dead. They probably felt so abandoned and defeated and confused. And then on Saturday, they didn't even know what they were doing, but they were waiting. They were waiting for something to happen that they probably couldn't dare to hope for. They were waiting to see what would become of their lives and the world around them. And then Sunday happened. They could have never imagined what God was up to. And out of all the chaos and despair, he brought life. He took the worst thing imaginable and turned it into the greatest victory of all time. When everything seemed more lost than it ever had before, God gave them hope. So today, she said, after receiving bad news, today is just Friday. And I can't wait until God gives us Sunday. And as you can probably guess, I could not keep the tears from my eyes. Even after being married to this beautiful woman for 2.5 years, I was blown away by her unwavering faith in God and the way that she could find hope no matter what was going on. So from that day on, that was our perspective. Hard days were just Friday. Days when we couldn't understand what God was up to, we didn't know what was going on, that was just Saturday. And we continued to look forward to Sunday. So for all of us here today, welcome to Friday. It is hard to imagine a more difficult day. But what I want you all to know, and what Perrin would want you all to know, is that for her, every day is Sunday now. The hope that we lived with every day, the love that she showed to every single one of us here, and many who are not here, and the joy that she spread literally to every single person who ever saw her, is more complete and full for her today than it ever has been. She is finally home, free of pain, and everything that she was created for is fulfilled in the presence of Jesus. So even in the midst of our Friday, we can put our hope in Jesus, in the truth that death is not the end, and trust that Sunday is coming. The day that everything will be made right, and the hope that we cling to will finally come to light. That day, we will be reunited, and we will all see her smile again. What she and I want for every single one of you here is for that hope to be yours. I want you all to be able to grieve with me without being crushed, without despairing, and without losing hope. Perrin's deepest desire was for God to use her story to bring people to him. Please, please let God do that today. If you do not know this hope, if you do not know Jesus, let Perrin introduce you. Let the life that she lived in the face of the most difficult circumstances bring you to the hope that never dies. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here today in honor of my wife. I love you all.